Hello and welcome to another episode of All Things Aussie Footy, covering everything from the AFL to the AFLW. My name is Ashley and today we will be looking at the 2021-22 NAB AFLW Grand Final, the big decider that was played at the Adelaide Oval on Saturday. We will also be reviewing round 4 of the AFL Premiership season, but we do also have some breaking news from AFL HQ which we will get into shortly. But for now guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, leave a like, also put the bell notification on. We try and upload videos at least twice a week for your enjoyment. So if you leave a like, put the bell on, it gives me the energy and the encouragement to release these videos for your entertainment. Also, go and like our Facebook page at All Things Aussie Footy, and if you guys want, send us a message on that or leave a comment under the link to this video or any videos that you see on the page, and let me know what you guys think about the videos so I can improve to give you guys what you want to see. That is what it's all based around, is the opportunity for you guys to watch these videos and to give you guys what you want. So, into breaking news right now. We've just received word from the AFL HQ that Gillon McLachlan, the AFL CEO, will be standing down at the end of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season. This brings an end to 22 years working at AFL HQ, 9 of which he was running under the AFL CEO, running the whole competition, planning everything, organising it all. Along with those 9 years as the AFL CEO, he had 7 with the AFLW, kickstarting the program from grassroots right the way to pretty much where it is now, with another grand final just being played. So thanks Gil for everything you've done for the AFL, especially in these tough times with the COVID-19 pandemic going around. He's done amazing work, we can't thank him enough. So we wish him all the very best from All Things at Aussie Footy. Can't wait to see what the future holds for him. But we're going to start things off today with reviewing the NAB AFLW Grand Final, played between Adelaide and Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval. The big deciding game for that season was finally upon us, everyone looking forward to it. Adelaide ultimately running away with another premiership, their 3rd in 6 years, so definitely setting the benchmark of the competition. I think they've been in every grand final apart from 2 so far, but they ran away defeating Melbourne 4-5-29 to 2-4-16. An absolute amazing game. Definitely can't wait for next year when we've got all 18 teams, all 18 male teams have a females team into the competition. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully they extend the season now so everyone plays each other at least once. Anne Hatchard, who played midfield for Adelaide, came away with the Best on Ground award with 26 disposals, also helping set up her forward line to kick that winning score to get them across the line for their 3rd premiership in, I think it was 7 years this competition's been going for now. So, big congratulations to the Adelaide Crows, congratulations to Anne Hatchard from Adelaide who won that Best on Ground, but commiserations to Daisy Pearce and the Demons. Daisy Pearce did announce her retirement as well, so that was another shock to the AFL, but at the same time as it was expecting to happen. She's now got kids, she's got a family at home who she wants to take care of, so I'm hoping we'll see her back in the AFL or the AFLW more as a commentating or analyst role like Eddie Betts is now. But at the same time as Erin Phillips from Adelaide, there's rumours going around that she is going to be jumping to Port Adelaide from Adelaide. She did support the Port Adelaide Power growing up in the AFL, so if she gets to don on that Port Adelaide jersey, that would be amazing to see her dream come true. But what a way to end that season for the AFLW, the 2 best sides in the grand final. Can't wait for next year when we've got a lot more teams, hopefully a longer season. But only time will tell now. We've got a couple of months of the off-season, we've got the AFL to look forward to, we're only 4 rounds in, still a long way to go with the year, but we'll look at that side now of things. The round 4 of the AFL season was run and done starting Thursday night with Port Adelaide and Melbourne at Adelaide Oval. Ultimately, the disappointing part of this game, it was low scoring, but Port Adelaide held goalless for the first time in history. 5 behinds was all they kicked for the first half. They ended up going on and kicking 4 goals, 12. Unfortunately, the behinds really did cost them that day, especially against a strong Melbourne outfit. So Port Adelaide ended up coming away with a loss, 4-12-36, defeated by Melbourne at 10-8-68. You can't really say much about that. Melbourne were just on their game. I would have liked to have seen it a little bit higher scoring, but Melbourne get the 4 points and remain undefeated in season 2022. Friday night, we went over to Geelong and saw the Cats taking on the Lions. Geelong ultimately running away winners by 10 points, 11-14-80, defeating Brisbane 11-4-70. Tommy Hawkins taking bragging rights down forward line with 5 goals kicked to help Geelong seal that win at GMHBA Stadium. Amazing, Tomahawk is back. The veteran side of Geelong are really showing why they should not be written off as premiership contenders this year. Can't wait to see what brings next week for them. Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, straight after the AFLW game, which started off the massive weekend of football, a massive Saturday of footy, which obviously started with the AFLW Grand Final. We then had about 4 AFL games played that day, so it was a massive weekend, massive Saturday, Super Saturday as they call it on Fox Footy. So Saturday afternoon started with Sydney and North Melbourne. Sydney ultimately running away at 13-8-86 to 12-3-75. Melbourne very accurate in that game. They were 11 goals won at one stage going into the last quarter. Amazing by North Melbourne, they kept it up whole game. They fought right to the end. Unfortunately, Buddy Franklin has broken his finger and is likely to be out for a couple of weeks. So that's not good news for Sydney fans, but ultimately they did get the win even without Buddy Franklin. Not sure when he went down, but they did hold on and win, which is great for them. The next game that followed after that was Collingwood and West Coast. Undermanned West Coast side going in against a strong Collingwood outfit who I think only made 1 or 2 changes to their team. But West Coast causing a massive upset here. Collingwood 10-14-74, defeated by the West Coast Eagles 14-3-87. Again, another accuracy goal-kicking side in this game, being the away team again like North Melbourne was. They kicked 14 goals 3, North kicked 12 goals 3. So, big accuracy between those two. Hopefully when they come up against each other, we may see the same thing. But ultimately, West Coast did come away with a win. They were undermanned. Big time undermanned. They were not favourites. They come away with their first win of the season, but at what cost? Nick Naitanui out for 6 weeks after injuring his MCL against the Pies. That could prove a big loss for the West Coast Eagles going into next week's game. But let's hope not. They've got Sydney, so there's no Naitanui, there's no Franklin next week for either of those sides. So we might be in for a cracking game between those two, which will be reviewed in the next video coming out this week. So stay tuned for that one. The next game that was played on a Super Saturday of football, Richmond and the Western Bulldogs. Richmond ultimately proving too strong for the Doggies, who again, like Port Adelaide, the behinds really did cost them this day. Richmond running away with a 15-9-99 to a 7-19-61 win for the Richmond Tigers. Big names back in this lineup. It's so great to see the likes of Jack Revolt, Tommy Lynch, Richard Castagna came back in. Big names coming in. If they can keep that healthy squad, they're going to be scary. Not as scary as when Dusty's playing. We still haven't heard word, but it's just a matter of time before he comes back, hopefully. But they are going to be scary now that they've got somewhat of a relatively healthy team. Marlon Pickett, Shai Bolton and Matthew Parker stepping up big time for them over the past couple of weeks with a lot of their outs. So I hope they get regular games in, but we'll have to wait and see. The game that rounded out the Super Saturday was at Optus Stadium between Fremantle and the GWS Giants. Fremantle ultimately came away with a smashing win of 13-10-88 to 8-6-54. The umpiring to me in this game was very one-sided. I didn't see much of it, but the free kick count was 42-16. Way too big of a count for that. I didn't see much of it, but it was very picky umpiring, trying to hand Fremantle a win, which it ultimately did. Puts them up into third on the ladder, but I'm not trying to be biased. It was just way too one-sided in terms of free kicks. There was a lot that was missed in that. Sunday footy, we start with Essendon and Adelaide. Very close game, one that I enjoyed watching thoroughly. Essendon ultimately picking up their first win of the season, beating the Crows 15-13, 103 to 15-9-99. Adelaide had a chance to win it. Tex thought he could kick it, going back, kicking it from I think about 52 or 53 metres. Didn't get the kick on it. Missing it short. Essendon get the clearance. Siren sounds, they win. So Essendon picking up their first win, lifts them off the bottom of the ladder, leaving Port Adelaide the only team that has not won a game this year, but their first win is coming in a matter of time. Hawthorn and St Kilda were the game that followed them at the MCG. I backed Hawthorn, unfortunately. I am a St Kilda supporter, but I just thought my team weren't going to be too strong, and we're going to get absolutely hammered against the Hawks. But Hawthorn ultimately coming away with a massive loss. They've gone down 10-13-73 to St Kilda's 22-10, 142. Smashing by St Kilda. That puts them as one of the highest scoring teams in the AFL competition this year by average, not by games. We know that Brisbane hold that record against North Melbourne with 156. But St Kilda ultimately coming away with a massive, much-needed win. Tim Membry, Max King, Bradley Hill and Jade Gresham all combining for 16 goals out of our 22. So shared between those four quite well. St Kilda are going to be scary this year. That it puts them up to fourth. We were looking at third, but ultimately we did let Hawthorn get a couple of goals back, which drops us back down to fourth. So can't wait to see how the Saints play for the next couple of weeks. We do have Gold Coast next week, but we don't have Brett Ratton as our coach. He is under health and safety protocols. That will be out in the next video as well. To round out the round 4 round 4 results of the season, up at Metricon Stadium, massive upset caused here with Gold Coast Suns defeating Carlton to end their unbeaten streak at 3. Gold Coast running away with a 13-15-92 to Carlton's 8-14-62. Massive win for Gold Coast, massive confidence booster. That's going to give them the confidence going further into this year. Paddy Cripps, unfortunately, he did go down with a hamstring injury and has been ruled out for next week's clash against Port Adelaide. Port may get their first win here. Without Paddy Cripps, who are they going to rely on? There is a few big names in the Carlton lineup, but we're now going to wait and see how that lines up. We're going to wait and see what each team is like in terms of Carlton and Port Adelaide. But they've now just got to rub that off, go into next week, play Port at home, try and pick up a win again and try and get back on the winners board. Port desperately need a win to pretty much keep their season alive in looking at finals. It's not over for them, but it's extremely hard to get. There's one thing I saw the other day. They started the season last year. Brisbane Lions, they started the season last year 1-3, as some teams here have done, which we will look at shortly, is the ladder. But some teams here have started 1-3. The Lions last year did start 1-3 on the ladder. They found their way up into the 4 and ended up coming away and playing finals. I believe they did make a prelim, but ended up bailing out in that one. So it's not over for a lot of the teams, but Port Adelaide do need a win if they want to try and keep their season alive If they lose, I can't see them getting any further. So that will be interesting to find out how they're going to go come close to the finals, whether they're going to have a couple of wins on the board, whether they're just going to shock everyone and go straight up the ladder and just keep climbing. Gold Coast here did have a much needed win. Big win in their books. So big congratulations to them. Give them confidence going into next week. Same deal with St Kilda. That was big win. The other upset obviously was West Coast to Collingwood in my eyes. So West Coast with this win is going to improve them dramatically. It's going to build their confidence up. Hopefully we see them start climbing the ladder and making that push towards September and playing finals. So I can't wait to see how that plays out as we move our focus onto the ladder after round 4. We can see that Melbourne are 0-4 on the ladder, sitting on top. Brisbane closely following on 3-1. This time last year they were 1-3. So it's not over for teams like Adelaide, the Giants, Bulldogs, Eagles, Essendon and North Melbourne. They're all sitting where the Lions were sitting last year, who made finals. So Brisbane are ultimately turning it around from last year's season. Fremantle, big improvers, sitting 3rd. Same as St Kilda sitting 4th. They're also on 3-1. Big improvement from both those sides this year, but whether or not they're going to be able to keep it up and keep progressing through the year and going higher or even staying in that double chance spot for finals will be interesting to see. Geelong, Sydney, Carlton are all 3-1 as well, so there's a big battle there for the 2nd to 7th. Collingwood rounding out our 8 with 2-2. Gold Coast knocking on the door of the 8. They're going to be a team to watch this year, I reckon. Like I've said in other videos, we may see what Melbourne done a couple of years back, and that was from outsiders to premiers. The teams that I'd be looking at with that one would be Gold Coast. They've been playing exceptionally well, and same deal with Carlton being big time outsiders. You want to watch those two. Richmond and Hawthorn both 2-2. Long way to go. Richmond getting a lot of their stars back now. Build up, keep going the way they're going, and then make them away with another finals berth. But they've got to try and stay healthy. That's the big one. Same deal with Hawthorn. A lot of young players, which really showed against the game against St Kilda on the weekend just been. A new coach doing a fantastic job. They're reminding me a lot of the three-peat that they ended up having, the 13, 14, 15 final series. Hopefully we can see that dominance come back in again shortly for them. They had great players, great team there. Sam Mitchell, their coach, obviously knew what to do. Unfortunately, it didn't show against St Kilda, but there's always other weeks. As I was saying, Adelaide, the Giants, Bulldogs, Eagles, Essendon, North Melbourne, all 1-3. Season's not over for them, it's only just beginning. They can still bounce back and somewhat make their way into finals. They're only pretty much 2 wins out of the 8. It's not over. It's not done and dusted. But they are going to need some wins in this lot. Port Adelaide ultimately, again, same thing, not over. They do need a couple of wins though, otherwise they will not see themselves playing finals and their coach may end up with the sack. There is doubts over his future at Port Adelaide, but we're just going to have to wait and see how that plays out. They may end up getting a new coach halfway through the year, they may just wait until the end of the season and see what happens. But there is a big rumour cloud hanging over his head. His job is on the line at the moment. They are 0-4 on the bottom. But again, like I said, it's not over. Brisbane showed us last year that it is never over. You're 1-3. You're being told you're not making finals. And you ultimately go on and make finals. So it's not over for a lot of these teams. It is early stages in the season. Again, Gold Coast, big shock for me. Hopefully we can see him progress through as the season goes on. Big confidence win over Carlton, but who can knock off Melbourne? That will be a tough one. 4-0 reigning premiers. They're showing us why they need to be considered as back-to-back premiers. why they could be back-to-back premiers. St Kilda and Fremantle making a statement as well. So, big year ahead, can't wait for it. It is going to be absolutely smashing this year. Can we see teams going from 1 and 3 to playing finals and maybe even getting deep into finals like Brisbane last year? Or can we see a team that is currently sitting within the top 8 drop and lose a lot of games and somehow not make finals? I know a lot of teams that probably could, but can't really say much now. It is early stages in the season, so it will be interesting to see what happens. But other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. We will have another video coming out later this week as well, so stay tuned for that one. Put the bell notification on, but most importantly, hit that subscribe button down below. If it's red, turn it grey. And again, put the bell notification on so we know when you upload. Leave a like, it gives me the energy to do these sort of videos for you, for your enjoyment. Follow us on our socials at All Things Aussie Footy, and make sure you follow us on there. Send us a message as well if you'd want to see something different happen in the videos. At the same time as, if you want, leave a comment down below under the title of each video that you think that you wouldn't mind seeing change or whatnot. Other than that, guys, from me, that is another wrap on another massive round of football for 2022. The AFLW Grand Final's been run and done. That now has ended. So our main focus now will be the Toyota AFL Premiership season. If you have any news, send it into our socials as well, and we'll be sure to let everyone know what's happening. But other than that, guys, we'll see you on our next one.